Okay, welcome and welcome back. If you're returning, welcome. If this is your first time, welcome back. Finally got it. That's why I'm laughing. Okay, if you're returning, welcome. I thank you for sticking with me. I thank you for watching all of my videos. Please continue to do so. Please share this video. If this is your first time, please continue to watch. All of my recipes is easy and delicious and fast to make. And so if you're new to this channel, those of you who are not, you know I don't like to keep you waiting, so let's get started. Today we're making samosas. Now, there are so many different ingredients for samosas depending on where you are from and depending on what style, what flavor you like. So I'm using a bell pepper. And so for those of you who have never had a bell pepper, they're not, even though it says pepper, it is not peppery at all. In fact, you can eat this just the way it is. It is not peppery. I'm not quite sure why they call it a bell pepper. I know why they call it a bell pepper because it's shaped like a bell. But the pepper part, I'm not really sure about. Even the seeds aren't peppery at all. But I do remove them because they're not really good to eat. They're not that tasty. So you just want to take those out. Nothing special there. So now samosas have a very long history. And these kind of samosas that I'm making, I'm calling Spanish, right? Okay. So stay with me for a minute. So Spanish samosas, it's not really correct. Like it wouldn't be authentic for me to say Spanish because it's really not Spanish. It's traditionally, I guess you would say, empanadas is what you would call or more authentic for samosas. I guess that would be the accurate term is empanadas and not samosas, but I'm going to say I'm going to say samosas instead of empanada or empanadillas. So if you hear me say Spanish samosas and you're saying, that's not really authentic or traditional, you're right. It's not a traditional Spanish dish or accurate for me to say Spanish, but I'm just going to use that term samosas. So here's a little history behind samosas and a real brief one. So it's believed that the origins of samosas started in Persia. I'm not going to say started, but was in Persia. Now, Persia, present day Iran, just in case you're wondering. Okay, well, we don't have a country called Persia anymore. No, it's present day Iran. But here's the part what most people may not realize is that it was brought to Persia by the Moors. Yeah, that really got a couple of people because the Moors are North Africans. Yeah, so think about that for a minute. So it spread in Persia, brought by the Moors from North Africa. Yeah, little piece of information there about samosas. So now, even though it was introduced to Persia by the Moors, it's, well, who are from North Africa, I should say. Samosas is eaten all over the place. And when I say all over the place, this is truly a global dish because it's in South and Central Asia. Yeah, Asia. All the way to the Middle East, to Africa. So, yeah, you may see Uzbekistan type of samosas or different type of samosas. But this one, I'm just going to call it Spanish samosas. And I'm just cutting up my red pepper. And I decided to use red peppers because to me, red peppers are a little bit sweeter than green peppers. So if you're in the market and you're looking at green peppers, red peppers, they have orange and yellow, and you're wondering what the difference is. Okay, so the green one it's not sweet at all. But however, the red and the orange and the brighter color ones are a little, I would say, yeah, a little on the fruity side, a little sweeter. So if that's the flavor you're going for, then I will go for that. It's just your preference and what you want and what kind of dish you're putting in it. So if you're new to my channel, you don't have to worry about great cutting skills. And if you're wondering why is she not putting it on the cutting board, for some reason, whenever I try to cut on the cutting board, my camera begins to shake. I'm still trying to figure out how to stop that. But so until I do, here we go. So can you believe I went into the store just yesterday and they had decorations up for, guess what? I know you're not going to believe this. Decorations up for Halloween. I said, are you kidding me? The fall already? it seems like for me, like summer just started. Like I'm not ready to let the summer go. How are you guys hanging in there? I know a lot is going on, but please take a minute, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Please share this video. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to come in with the onion. So nothing special. I'm just trying to cut this in half because I don't think I'm going to need a whole onion. Yep, I won't. So yeah, I could not believe I walked in here and I saw decorations for Halloween. I was like, oh no. And now I know what it's like when kids start seeing school supplies in the store and it's like back to school already. Even though I believe some kids are back, depending on where you are in the country. And again, in the comment, let me know where you're watching from. And what kind of samosas do you like? So now I'm not going to use all of this onion. So I'm going to keep cutting it down. And when you make the samosas now, you can use any kind of filling you want to use. You could do all vegetables, you could do meat and vegetables. I even seen some with cheese and potatoes. So you can do cheese and potatoes if you want to. You can do potatoes and spinach, or you could do just spinach by itself. Yeah, you can put any kind of vegetables you want in it. Any kind of filling you want is what I'm trying to say. And you know what I would love for y'all to do in the comments? Let me know what do you want to see me make next. Because sometimes I don't know whether I should make something sweet, something savory, a whole meal. But this is fast and easy to make, and the family seems to love it. And again, not going to mention price of food. This is great. It's budget friendly. And I'll leave it at that. So now we have our onions. We have our green peppers. So now, every samosa has to have some kind of filling. Can I leave it with just that? I absolutely can, but I'm not. I'm going to do a meat filling. So let me set this to the side. And I'm going to come in with the meat filling. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here we go. Removing the top. So now I have my pot, and I'm just going to put a little bit of oil. Just a little bit so the meat does not stick to it. And I'm just trying to turn this pot up, or this pan up. Let's see, did I turn it up? There we go. So yeah, I'm just going to come in with some vegetable oil. Everyday oil. And I only use that brand because it's on sale. So if you have a brand that you like, you go ahead and use it. So now, you know, traditionally, depending on, and I'm not going to say traditionally, wherever some samosas, depending on where you're from, is actually with a meat filling. And if you don't mind, it's actually used with butter. Yeah. But again, if you don't want to put dairy with meat, hey, I'm great with that. You could just use oil. You don't have to use dairy. So guess what? Beef was on sale this week. So we're using beef. Now, I know in some places, like Uzbekistan, they use lamb, ground lamb. If you have lamb, hey, use lamb. If you have ground chicken or turkey, you can use that. And I'm just breaking it up because it's still a little bit frozen. So I'm just breaking it up. So there we go. So yeah, ground beef was on sale, so I'm using ground beef. So whenever those of you who are new to my channel, or even if you're not, if you ever see me making a dish and I'm putting an ingredient that you don't really care for, such as beef, and I know some people don't really care for beef, swap it out. Put in what you like. If you don't like beef, don't use beef. Ground turkey, ground chicken, lamb, veal, or if you're a vegetarian or trying to come back on meat, swap it out for vegetables. Like I said, you can do spinach and cheese or just spinach or potatoes. Okay. So now remember those vegetables we cut up? So to me, onions and peppers are vegetables. I'm just going to mix that in. Because I find out when you cook your vegetables, like your onions and the green peppers, to me, it releases the flavor and it tastes a lot better. And again, that's just my opinion. I know some people, when they make meatloaf, they put vegetables in it, right? And that's great. I've done that too, but I've always cooked my vegetables first before I mix it into my meatloaf. Why do I do that? If I'm going to put vegetables in and you cook it first, let's say you put in carrots or any kind of vegetable you want to put into your meatloaf, it will actually release the flavor into the meat. Now, the reason why most people will put vegetables into a meatloaf is to keep it moist. Do you have to do that? No. Some people use breadcrumbs, and some don't really put anything, just to cut a meat to keep it moist. This is going to take a few minutes because it was frozen, and I thought I took it out the refrigerator in time, but I guess I didn't. So again, where are you watching me from? And you tell me, when you make your samosas or when you have your samosas, what type of filling do you put in yours? Now, I've heard all kind of fillings. I even heard of corn samosas. I've never had it with corn. I have to admit that. I've never had it with spinach. I had it with tomatoes and spinach. I had it with, potatoes, but never with corn. So now we're going to season this, because even though I have the onions in and the red peppers, it still needs some flavor. So you know me, coming in with everyday ingredients. I call this everyday ingredients. So the pan is really heating up now. And don't worry, as always, all ingredients and measurements will be in the description box. So I'm coming in with garlic powder. And that may seem like a lot, but it is a lot of meat. And in a lot of Spanish dishes, they have cumin. And again, if you don't like cumin, you just swap it out. And I'm just going to put just a little bit, just a sprinkle or two. It is a strong flavor, so again, if you don't like it, you don't have to use it. We're going to come in with just a little bit of black pepper. If the little ones is eating it and they don't like that black pepper, again, leave it out. And I'm going to come in with Goya. And I'm using the blue top. And I really think this is, appropriate for this, since I'm saying it's Spanish. And I'm just going to do a sprinkle. And because I'm using Goya, and I use the one without pepper because I put pepper in. I like to control how much pepper I put into my food. But since I put the Goya in, I'm not going to put in any salt, because that has enough salt in it. There we go. There we go. So have anyone went into any barbecues for the 4th of July or planning any barbecues for the upcoming holiday? Believe it or not, I haven't been to that many. We have little islands and outings in the park, more like picnics, but not actually a barbecue. I'm not sure why that is, but still enjoyable. So there we go, we're getting there. And one thing about ground beef, as soon as the meat starts to change color, that's the indication that it's done. You don't want to cook it until it's completely dry out. That's not good eats. You want it nice and tasty, but at the same time, you don't want any pink spots. That can make the whole family sick, or just yourself. Yeah, you do want it to cook thoroughly. And that's why even though this is going to go into the oven, now let me know, do you fry your samosas or do you have yours oven baked? And again, I'm softening it up. I also want to soften up the onions, but I'm not too concerned because this is going to continue to cook in the oven. But if you're the type that, don't like crunchy vegetables at all, and you think it's not going to cook in the oven, you can just continue to cook it. Or you could cook the vegetables first. You could cook the onions and the red peppers first before you add it to the meat, which I probably should have done, but got distracted for a moment. So here we go. Now, that looks completely done to me. And again, it's going to continue to cook in the oven, but I'm going to give it a little bit more stir. And I keep cooking until the onions is translucent. That's another clue that the beef is done. Indication. But again, you're looking at it. You know whether or not it's done before you want to, serve it to your family. Last thing you want to do is make your family sick. Okay, so I'm going to take this out right now. Okay. So I'm going to put the filling into a bowl. And that is a lot of filling, but we do have a lot of samosas to make. Well, probably we'll make a lot. And I try not to eat them all. I will try. Okay, so there we go. We're going to set that to the side. Let me turn this off. Set that to the side. Turn this off. Get this out of the way because we need some space. Okay, so just work with me so I can move this. Just stay with me while I move this. Whoa, it's gotten real hot. No problem. Lift this up. And there we go. Free up some space on this counter. Since there's not a lot. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Where's the dough? So this is a quick and easy recipe. So for you who are new to my channel, like I said, all of my recipes is quick and easy. Well, this is the quick and easy part. I have a little hack that I use for the dough. Can you make the dough yourself? You absolutely can. It's quite simple. Water, flour, salt. But guess what? Didn't feel like doing that. So I have some parchment paper. And I'm just going to take some parchment paper. And I'm going to put it on my baking sheet. And you're probably saying, what does that have to do with the dough? Yep. This is our dough. Yeah, I'm trying this. So stay with me. This is my first time using this one. I've used the original, but I've never used the original Flaky. So let's hope this works. And are you like me, always having a hard time opening it? I'm going to try to do it off. That is why I was going to do it off camera. But it seemed like it came out on its own. Wow. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to complain because it came out. Usually I have a hard time. There we go. Okay, so. And I mean, that exploded. And I don't know why. But I'm not complaining. So hopefully I have enough room on this pan. Because these are going to puff up. So I'm going to set these over. And I'm just going to start pulling these. And I'll show you why. Because we want to stretch them out. Because we are going to fill these. Yep, this is going to be our dough. So now I have the Sazon seasoning. And you're probably saying, what is Sazon? And I'm going to tell you in a minute what the ingredients is. But you find this in a lot of Spanish cooking. And so inside of this, you have coriander, you have garlic, you have annatto, and saffron. Now, I'm going to put all the ingredients. So I'm saying annatto, but you probably call it achote seasoning. Yeah. So I'm going to take some of this, and I have some melted butter. And it gives it a wonderful flavor, but also a wonderful colorant. And this is just some melted butter, and I'm going to put that in there. And you'll see why in a moment. Now I'm going to stir it up. Do you have to do this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. but it gives it a wonderful color when it cooks, and a wonderful flavor. So now I'm going to do both sides. And a matter of fact, I'm going to spray this so that it doesn't stick. And I'm going to come in with some spray because I don't want it to stick. Even though I'm coating it with butter, it can still stick. Okay. There we go. So now the shape of the samosas varies. I've seen all type of shapes. So you use the shape that you like. I've seen them square. I've seen them triangle. You use any style you want, any shape you want. I'm going to go very simple, and I'm going to see if I can fold them over. And that is why I was stretching the dough. And I'm going to keep stretching. And this is pretty much the shape that I have it in when I go to the restaurant. And I'm going to seal it with a fork. So yeah, just like that. It does make a wonderful design. And I'm going to turn this one up because I see it tore just a little bit, no problem there. But I am going to put splits in it. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want the steam to have a place to vent. So I am going to cut the dough. And I want to make sure, I want a place for the steam to actually come out. I don't want it to explode. And I'm going to put this one over here. And I'm also going to do a little bit more just to make sure it has a nice coating to it. So now I'm going to start in with the second one, and I'm just going to keep turning it and stretching it. Actually, that's actually what I'm doing. I'm stretching it. And I'm going to repeat it. And I'm not going to put too much in because I need to be able to fold it over. Look at that, nice and juicy. So now we're going to do the test to see if I can fold it over if I stretched it enough. If not, I will stretch it again. Just that simple. But I think I did. I think I stretched it. But I'm going to keep stretching it some more. There we go. I'm going to tuck in the filling. Don't worry. Don't panic if the filling come out or anything like that. Just keep stretching, and then you just seal it with the fork. No fancy equipment here. Okay. Now we come in. There we go. Now, isn't that easier than making the dough, waiting for the dough to rise? And you have to take shortcuts. And here's why I say that. You love your family, you love yourself, you need time for yourself, you need time for your family. Whether it takes you an hour to do the dough or 15 minutes, your family's going to enjoy it all the same. But you will be so tired that you don't enjoy it. Because remember, you're the cook. Plus, I like to get stuff in the oven and then sit down and just rest. Yeah, I like to enjoy myself too. Now, you can have this with a salad, or you can just have it by itself. I know some people's like, well, that's not really healthy. Hey, sometimes it's like that. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold it over. Please don't forget to take a minute, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know how you had your samosas, how you make your samosas. And if you did have it, what style did you have it? By style, that just simply mean like, was it from South America or parts of Asia, like Uzbekistan? What was the fillings like? And I almost forgot to put not a hole, but this a vent, because you don't want it to explode. And sometimes that will happen, and you don't want that. That's not good. Even though, trust me, I'm going to still eat it. Yeah, my family will still eat it too. For my family and for myself, we're all about what tastes good more than what look good. You ever go to a restaurant and the food looks gorgeous? It looks like someone, like a work of art, and then you eat it and you're like, wait, what was that? Like the taste is so bland, you're not sure that you even ate anything. Yeah. So that is why I said my family and I, we're more about how food tastes than how it looks. Because we've been in these restaurants that will charge an arm and a leg and a pint of blood for some beautiful looking food that tastes absolutely like nothing. So here we go. We're going to do this one more time. Well, two more times, really. And I'm going to put a little bit more of the filling there. And we're going to come in with this one. And there we go. So now let me fold this one over. And you know, I'm not really crazy about size, like they all have to look the same size. I'm really not. I know some people that kill themselves with some channels. You don't. If you watch my channel, I would prefer you make the meal and not really care about, you know, everything looking the same size or same shape. Nope. There we go. No fancy equipment here. Just a fork. And we're going to coat it again. And now we're going to bake this according to Pillsbury. And I think Pillsbury say 25 minutes or something like that. That's how long we're going to bake it. Now, if I had to buy this from the store, you wouldn't believe the price. You wouldn't believe how much this will cost. And I probably would get maybe 2 of them for what it cost me to make this. So clearly I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so I'm going to get this in the oven. Okay, we now come to the part that I love so much. I actually get to eat. So, yep, here we go. Look how delicious it looks. Oh my God. I wish we had smell-o-vision. It looks and tastes delicious. This will cost a nice penny if I went to the market to get it. So, or to a restaurant. Forget about the market. A restaurant. And this took a couple of minutes, if that. Yeah, just a couple of minutes. I cooked it according to Pillsbury, but you know, if you don't use Pillsbury, if you use another brand, you use that brand. Please don't forget to take a minute, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you don't like it, hit another button. But just let me know. I do have an affiliate link, so you can send money to your family for any reason at all. And look at that. That is delicious. I do have another one for those of y'all who are counting, and I'm going to eat this one myself. Again, take a minute, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it really helps the channel. And again, until next time, let me put this down. Maybe I should turn it this way. Yes, I am. So, until next time, enjoy.